greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back tonight to the Online Sim Racing Network as we go back side by side with the Extreme Motorsports 99. Tonight, the Extreme Motorsports 99 brings you the Help a Hero 200. That's the Help a Hero 200, round 8 of 10, ExtremeMotorsports99.com Camping World Truck Series Season 10, brought to you by the AdvancedSimulationProducts.com, specializing in custom button boxes. My commentator Sean Zulu, and joining me up in the booth as usual is David Everly. How are you doing tonight?
Doing good. How you doing, Sean?
Oh, doing good too, thank you. Just ready to get back in the mix of things after, unfortunately, not being able to make it last week for Auto Club Speedway, the Auto Club 20th anniversary. That was round number 7 of 10. Speaking of that race, in that race we had a new winner this season, and that was Hunter McDaniel, defending champion Maverick Motorsports driver. Cody McFadden came out second, Bryce Whitson Jr. came out third, Tyler Homan came out fourth, Curtis Vollmer fifth, David Elliott 6th, Gary Whitson 7th, Dwayne Dunn 8th, Scott Mitten 9th, and Bobby Tinch did round up the top 10. And moving on to our current points standings, we have 48 of Curtis Vollmer, Samson Motorsports driver, still leading in points. He's been leading in points now for the last 2 races and this one. So Samson Motorsports driver Curtis Vollmer leading in points. He's actually ahead of 2 tied drivers, tied for second place, Hunter McDaniel and Scott Mitten. Hunter McDaniel's tied for second place once again. We also have a tie for third place between Greg Bradshaw and Gary Whitson. I repeat, 2 drivers tied for third, Greg Bradshaw and Gary Whitson. Gary Woobot 4th, Jay Pryor 5th, Tyler Homan 6th, Timothy Hamlet 7th, Bobby Tinch 8th, Bryce Whitson Jr. 9th, and Tommy Haynes rounding up the top 10 in the points standings. And ladies and gentlemen, before we go to tonight's race, gonna give a lot of shout outs to everybody in the chat. So please type it up, get active, say something, let us know what's on your mind. We have Brandon Ketchum. Welcome back, Brandon Ketchum. Hashtag Team Gillen Motorsports. Let's finish this one. Absolutely. And also Gillen Motorsports himself. That is Joshua Gillen in the chat. Welcome back, Joshua. It's good to see you again. We have Pat T as well. Welcome back, Pat T. Always a pleasure. Hope you're doing well tonight, as usual. And seems like that's all who typed in the chat. So please get active, say something. We are going to shout you out. Well, moving on to tonight's race, this is Darlington. Darlington, too tough to tame. Well, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are going around for 145 laps. The track temp is 73 degrees Fahrenheit. Air temperature at 73 degrees Fahrenheit. It is overcast, late afternoon, with winds from the west at 7 miles per hour. And this track, ladies and gentlemen, is 1.36 miles in length. That's 1.36 miles in length. And it is an oval, so it has 4 turns as well. And so far here, looks like gridding is about to begin. We are going to go down this list before too long. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our poster tonight for the 8th race of this regular season is going to be the 99 of Bryce Whitson Jr., Greg Bradshaw 2nd, Gary B. Whitson 3rd, Tommy Haynes 4th, Mr. Highside himself, Ralph Vanderforst 5th, Tyler Hallman 6th, Hunter McDaniel 7th, Christian DeFalco 8th, Cody McFadden 9th, and John Sterling rounding up the top 10. Brandon Ketchum himself 11th, Nick Hunt 12th, Garrett Helmlinger 13th, Jeffrey Gillam 14th, Jim Kelly 15th, Tommy M. Massey 16th, Scott Brooks 17th, Jason Eisenhower 18th, Scott Mitten 19th, and Dakota Craig in the 20th place spot. Bobby Tinch 21st. Curtis Vollmer 22nd, and Curtis Vollmer leader in points, who has been for the last 2 races. He's starting 22nd. We have Joshua Gillen 23rd, David Elliott 24th, Timothy Hamlet 25th, and Travis Pryor, last driver qualifying, in the 26th place spot. And rounding up the rest of the field, I'm just going to go over these names: Adam Eisenhower, Randy Perdue, Octavia Rondoletto, Alex Kingsbury, Jay Pryor, Gary Woobot. We have Kerry Cleaver, Brian Wasserman as well in this mix, and that should give us about 35 drivers starting tonight's race. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be quite the race here tonight. I personally do not have much experience at Darlington, but I do look forward to seeing exactly how these drivers handle this track. We are now rolling behind this pace car being led by our post sitter 99 of Bryce Whitson Jr. Pace speed 60 miles per hour. Ladies and gentlemen, this is round 8 of 10. After this race, that means we'll have only 2 more races left in the regular race season before the chase begins. That means only 3 races, 3 opportunities, 3 final chances for the drivers to get themselves locked into the chase via win. So far we have 7 drivers locked into the chase, 7 races and 7 different winners. But the pace car dips off. Whitson still holding this pace speed. About to go green here before too long. Bryce finds the gas pedal. The green flag is now out. A great start by Bryce Whitson Jr. Lap 1 of 145. Round 8 of 10. Extreme Motorsports 99.com Season 10. The Helper Hero 200 brought to you by the Advanced Simulation Products.com, specializing in custom button boxes. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be seeing a lot of single file action going on. This track is very, very complicated, very, very difficult to make a pass on. So we're going to be seeing a lot of give and take. In the opening stages, a lot more give than take than usual. And here, everybody so far seems to have gone single file for the most part. And further back in the pack here with 61 of Jeffrey Gillum. Got out of shape a little bit, but back in line behind the 23 of Jim Kelly. And looks like Jim Kelly tonight running a new paint scheme that AdvancedSimulationProducts.com. I always see him in a blue machine, but it's a different blue machine tonight by the looks of it. 81 of Travis Pryor on the inside of 72 of Alex Kingsbury, but off the turn he falls short and falls back in line to avoid losing momentum and speed. This track is all about getting that perfect groove, that perfect exit to make up as much time as you can against your opponent. It's all about setting each other up for your own benefit. A cluster so far is being formed. This is 5 o'clock. Oh man, Dakota Craig goes sideways off the exit of turn 4. No harm done. He is still rolling. Looks like everybody so far seems to be getting a little bit squiggly entering these turns, specifically turn number 1 and 3. And here we have some serious rush hour traffic. One driver out of line, and everybody goes away from him to give him room, but the caution flies this time around. And that happened for the back of the pack, looks like. Gonna see what happened.
Yeah, that's unfortunately going to involve the 5 of Randy Perdue and the 81 of Travis Pryor. Looks like Randy Perdue tried to check up there, and unfortunately got a little squiggly, and Travis Pryor had nowhere to go.
Oh man, unfortunately, yeah. Man, those drivers involved here early on, 5 laps in, but good thing they both will be able to stay on the track and put down some more laps. Despite that, in that case, Randy Perdue getting the worst end of that deal, the most damage on that Silverado, but that machine lives to see if a couple of more laps, hopefully the full laps here in tonight's race. But going back up front, we are being led still by Bryce Whitson Jr., Gary B. Whitson second, Greg Bradshaw third, Tommy Haynes fourth, and Tyler Harmon in the 5th place spot. And ladies and gentlemen, early on I talked about how we've had 7 races so far this season in the track series, and also 7 different winners. That I don't think has been seen in a while. So that's 7 races and 7 different winners. Gonna go over these drivers who are locked into this chase. So first of all, congrats to every single one of these drivers on this list. So we have Hunter McDaniel, he has a win. Jay Pryor, Bryce Whitson Jr., Joshua Gillen, Randy Perdue, Christian DeFalco, and Ken Huber. I repeat, Ken Huber, Christian DeFalco. We have Randy Perdue, Joshua Gillen, Bryce Whitson Jr., Jay Pryor, and Hunter McDaniel. These 7 drivers all having 1 win so far this season and already have a spot in the chase. So that means one thing, ladies and gentlemen, that means only 5 more spots left in the chase for the drivers to take. So we need 5 more drivers. If we have a new winner tonight, that means we're only going to have 4 spots left. And just an overview of the season for those new viewers out there. This is a 10-week regular race season followed by a 5-week chase series for a total of 15 races and 15 weeks. So 10-week regular race season and 5-week chase series. And now we are 8 races into the regular race season, which means we have 2 more races after this race before the chase begins, and those two races being held next week, round number 9, which is going to be the race before the chase, and that will be held at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. That's one of my favorite tracks personally, and that's going to be entitled the Samson Motorsports 145. That's the Samson Motorsports 145 at Las Vegas next week, and the final race of the regular race season before the chase begins will be held at a road course. That's going to be the Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, entitled the Buckle Up 50. So we'll be having a road race to end the regular race season. That's going to make things extra interesting. And Pat T in the chat asking how bad Travis's damage is. Can I try and focus on Travis Pryor and scan that beast? As we speak here, Travis Pryor on pit road. Looks like all his damage is on the front end. Unfortunately, it is beat up on the left front, right front. The hood is dented. Yeah, but the rear end is looking pretty as usual there, Pat. We can see your name, the Pat T.I. paints. That's not scratched at all. You're in luck. But the front end, unfortunately, is beat up. But, despite that, it should be still able to be competitive. Going back up front, we are now back 1 to green with Bryce Whitson still leading, his teammate right beside him with the Whitson Motorsports team. Greg Brancher starting on the inside behind Bryce Whitson Jr. On the outside, we have 17 of Tommy Haynes behind Gary Whitson. That pace car dips off, and the Whitson still holding pace speed. The Whitsons find that gas pedal. They are drag racing to turn number 1. They get a great restart against everybody else. And so far, third place battle going on between 74 of Bradshaw and 17 of Tommy Haynes. Tommy Haynes lets off the gas. Hunter McDaniel sees a free lunch program, an opportunity to get around 17 of Haynes. But Haynes finds that loud pedal and mashes it. Tommy Haynes stays up the track, and that forces Hunter McDaniel to back it down to avoid pushing up and causing trouble. And so far, Hunter McDaniel settles in between Tommy Haynes and 77 of Tyler Harmon. And a heck of a race last week, round 7 at Auto Club Speedway. I would like to thank Tanner Sharp for filling in for me. Unfortunately, I could not make that race. Also, Joe White was able to get up here for a few laps. So I want to thank both Joe White and Tanner Sharp. 88 of John Sterling is on the move as we speak on the outside of 64. That's the 64 of Cody McFadden. McFadden losing one spot. Actually, more than one spot. Looks like he's now in the 9th place position from the 7th place spot. And now Sterling's next victim is 07 of Christian DeFalco. Mr. Highside himself, 68 of Ralph Vanderforce here, currently behind 64 of Cody McFadden in the 10th place spot. And behind him is a 00 of Nick Hunt, but Nick Hunt is being approached by the 1-2 of Brandon Ketchum. Oh, thank you, Pat. Miss you too. Miss you too. And for the back in the pack, 23 of Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly trying to hold off the 8-0 of Jay Pryor. Jay Pryor has found 5th gear here so far, trying to take names while he can on these new tires. Well, in this case, with trying to use up the tires with the most grip that they have at this point, because the grip is getting nothing but less with every single lap, and Jay Pryor was able to get around the... Oops, my apologies. Looks like I was messing with the wrong buttons. But Jay Pryor was able to get around the 23 of Jim Kelly, and that bumped Kelly down to 16th. Oh, look at that! A new viewer in the chat! Welcome back, John Marine! It's been way too long, buddy. Hope you're doing well tonight. Good to see you again. Head driver on the apron so far, 61 of Jeffrey Gillum. Jeffrey Gillum getting back up to speed as we speak. And the simracingapps.com Chevy Silverado. And falls in line behind 23 of Jim Kelly. And looks like Jeffrey Gillum had some bad luck because he actually went a lap down as a result. So far he's the only driver one lap down. So he's hoping for a caution so he can be able to get the lucky dog. Going back up front, we have 07 of Christian DeFalco trying to make moves against 77 of Tyler Holman. Have noticed here with every single lap, DeFalco has been trying his best to play mind games against Tyler Holman to make oh no! DeFalco smacks the wall off the exit of turn number 2. Oh, speed, all momentum lost. And that does increase the gap in between himself and Tyler Holman, and it puts a big smile on Holman's face. Going back up front, top 4 drivers here, single file, Tommy Haynes, Greg Bradshaw, Gary Whitson, and Bryce Whitson Jr. Ladies and gentlemen, this track is 1.36 miles in length. With that said, the laps do go by very quickly. At the same time, these laps here, they were running in practice and qualifying 28 to 29 second lap times. With that said, if the drivers ride for too long, they will most likely go a lap or more down in no time. Speaking of going a lap down or more in no time, we have the leader, Bryce Whitson Jr., who has his eyes on the back of the pack. And that's the 4-0 of Joshua Gillen. Joshua Gillen, the next in line ahead of Joshua, is the 05 of Tommy Massey. So if these guys do not up their pace, they will go a lap down before too long. And speaking of the drivers in the back of the pack, we have David Elliott, Gary Woobot, Scott Mitten, Travis Pryor, Randy Perdue. These drivers have found each other in some serious traffic. They are trying to play catch up, but for the most part, they are having no luck. The leaders behind them catching them, gaining about 1/10 to 2/10 of a second with every single lap against them. And ladies and gentlemen, the drivers here as usual do have a 65% fuel limit. That is 65%. With that said, you should expect them to come down pit road at least twice. So here we'll be seeing a lot of different strategies going on, but Travis smacks the wall as he tried to let the 50 of Mitten by entering turn 3. Speaking of Scott Mitten has found 5th gear so far. He overtook Travis Pryor, and now his next victim is the 5 of Randy Perdue. And a new viewer in the chat tuning back in, that is Pacman 9 Mil. Welcome back, Pacman. It's been way too long. Hope you're doing well tonight. Hashtag Team Gillen. Going for the back in the pack, 86 of Adam Eisenhower. Adam Eisenhower has not had much luck this season yet. But the season here, we still have 3 races. Well, after this race, we have 2 races left before the chase begins. So hopefully, he can get himself among the spots to be considered for the chase. And so far, Adam Eisenhower himself riding in the 19th place spot behind the 177 of Brian Wasserman. An unspoken match of this driver 24 of Octavio Rondoletto, an added alien this season to the track series with ExtremeMotorsports99.com. He's currently riding in the 16th place spot after starting in the 29th place spot. Yes, Octavio has come from 29th place to 16th this far and climbing. And Rondoletto's machine has seen better days. It is beat up on the front end and a little bit on the rear. And right now it goes against 61 of Gillum. Looks like Jeffrey Gillum lets him by without a fight. He is a lap down. Going a little bit up front in the 12th place spot, we have Ralph Vanderforst. We also have Alex Kingsbury, 1-2 of Brandon Ketchum, and the 0-0 of Nick Hunt. These drivers cannot seem to get away from each other. There is a roadblock that seems to be formed here because they are riding very, very close to each other. But the gap in between Nick Hunt and Cody McFadden is getting nothing but bigger with every single turn. But looks like they're on the exit of turn number 2. He was able to gain some time against McFadden. Mr. High Side himself, Ralph Vanderforst, under fire from 72 of Alex Kingsbury, but off the exit of turn 4, he falls short and falls back in line behind Ralph. Yeah, been very true there, John. It is a very tricky, tough track, absolutely. I also a single groove track and not multi-groove like most tracks. It makes it very, very difficult to pass. So at this point, maybe the bump and run might come into play. Oh, some contact up front among 3 drivers, Brandon Ketchum, Nick Hunt, and Jason Eisenhower. And that forces Jason Eisenhower off the track, and that slowed them down drastically. And now they are trying to get back up to speed, and one driver spinning off the track. That was the 5 of Purdue, and the caution flies.
As we go looking back, it looks like this might be between the 42 and the 94. 94 was in the wall. The 42, nowhere to go around, made contact. They both got sideways there, but you also said the 5 of Randy Purdue. Let's go back and take a look here and see what happened to him. Looks like some contact there, maybe between him. Let's see here. He got into the wall, and once again, Travis Pryor, nowhere to go. Got into the back end of him, and that sent him hard into the inside wall.
Oh man, yeah, that's very unfortunate for both drivers involved again. Both drivers fighting each other there, making contact, unfortunately. Hopefully, their machines are still good enough to run here the rest of the race, and I believe we might have lost Randy Purdue. Oh, I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen, I have lost picture. I'll be right back as I try to get it fixed.
As they are down on pit road, it looks like the only one staying out is going to be the 40 of Joshua Gillen. He is going to stay out. Why, these guys are all down on pit road here. 4 tires, full tank of fuel. We have 114 laps remaining here at Darlington. And it looks like Bryce Whitson Jr., followed by Gary B. Whitson, Christian DeFalco, Greg Bradshaw, Travis Pryor, top 6 off pit road. Joshua Gillen, our race leader right now, making his way down onto pit road, it looks like. Yes, he is down on pit road here, giving the race lead back over to the 99 of Bryce Whitson Jr. As we are still under caution, second caution of the night here. Lap 33 of 145, 113 laps remaining. Pace lights on the pace car are off. We are back 1 to green, getting ready to go green flag racing here on lap 34. Twenty-seven trucks still on the lead lap as they get lined up, double file. Pace car is off. Bryce Whitson Jr. leading the pack. Gary Whitson on the outside. Back on the loud pedal, green flag racing once again here at Darlington as we are still being led by the 99 of Bryce Whitson with Gary B. Whitson second. Greg Bradshaw sitting in third, but he's got a battle with Christian DeFalco. Bradshaw into the outside wall. That's going to allow the 77 of Tyler Hallman get to his inside door here. Is 00 Nick Hunt right there in sixth. Thinking about trying to get around him, just jumps in line. Single file here through the top 10. Top 10 currently consisting of Bryce Whitson Jr., Gary Whitson second, Christian DeFalco third, Tyler Hallman sitting in fourth, Greg Bradshaw fifth, Nick Hunt sitting in sixth, Tommy Haynes sitting in seventh, John Sterling eighth, Brandon Ketchum up into the ninth position, and rounding out your top 10 is going to be the 64 of Cody McFadden.
And good news, I was able to get everything sorted. I do apologize for the inconvenience, but absolutely, yeah, top 10 looking great here. Single file so far, very difficult to make. Passes at this track, you have to set each other up. The bump to pass or bump and run might just come into play later on in this race. So fingers crossed for that. And here the 8-0 Jay Pryor gets around. That was the 3 of Garrett Helmlinger. Not so much of Garrett Helmlinger tonight, if any. But now Helmlinger falling in between the 72 of Kingsbury and the 8-0 of Jay Pryor. Kingsbury so far trying to get around the 3 of Garrett Helmlinger for the 15th place spot. '86 of Adam Eisenhower and 24 of Octavia Rondoletto catching up to the two battling drivers here, Kingsbury and Garrett Helmlinger, at a fast rate. Kingsbury goes low, and that forces Helmlinger up high, but it looks like Helmlinger gets a slingshot off the exit of the turn, and that keeps Alex Kingsbury back in 14th. Because of that, that's going to actually close the gap in between Kingsbury and Eisenhower. Just watching the 72 of Alex Kingsbury here work so far. He's doing well. He's trying to get a great exit against Garrett Helmlinger. That's the best chance he has. Yep, Kingsbury so far seems to be taking a different race line, different race entry than compared to Helmlinger. And going for the back up front, we have 17 of Tommy Haynes right behind the 00 of Nick Hunt. And the Haynes machine has seen better days. That advanced simulation products.com machine, but he is still trucking despite that. On the front stretch, the three of Helmlinger lost all his speed, all his momentum. Looks like he tapped the wall off the exit off turn number 4. He actually lost 3 spots in that one turn. And right after that, we had some contact between the 24 of Octavian Ondoletto and 86 of Adam Eisenhower, which sent Adam sideways, but they were able to somehow save it. And they are still green flag racing. Going back up front, we have a battle going on here between 88 of John Sterling and the 12 of Ketchum, but Ketchum falls short entering turn 1. That's a bad thing about this track, is that whenever you try and make a move, if that move does not work, you do lose a lot of time. You lose a lot of time. Oh, contact up front sideways. They're spinning out. Bryce involved. 74 of Bradshaw involved. Nick Hunt involved. Ketchum involved. Jay Pryor involved. A lot of smoky machines. Let's back it up on Bryce Whitson. I saw Bryce Whitson spinning out. Let's see what happened on replay.
Well, as we take a look at the replay, he just got into the outside wall there. Is Christian DeFalco looked like he got a little right up next to him there as they were running. Bryce Whitson and Gary Whitson there into the outside wall, but Gary Whitson was able to save it. Bradshaw spinning, Nick Hunt involved. As you said, a lot of trucks involved in this, Sean.
Oh man, absolutely. The biggest wreck we've seen this far. We had at least three drivers smoking heavily after that contact there, namely 12 of Ketchum involved and the 80 of Jay Pryor as well was producing some serious heavy black smoke from that rear end, including Cody McFadden as well. So at least 3 machines smoking, which means pit road, a very busy place under this caution. Speaking of pit road, we have everybody on pit road except for 7 drivers: Christian DeFalco, John Sterling, Tommy Haynes, Ralph Van der Forst, and David Elliott. These drivers staying out with the also including the 36 of Eisenhower, Tommy Amasi, Gary Woolbot, Randy Perdue, Timothy Hamlet, and Scott Brooks. And now a new race leader this time around, 07 of Christian DeFalco. And a new viewer in the chat, well, not really new viewer, but returning viewer, I should use that word more often. Christina back in the chat. Welcome back, Christina. Hope you're doing well. We have a lucky dog. Lucky dog has been handed over to 36 of Jason Eisenhower. Congratulations to Jason Eisenhower. And Mr. Eisenhower back on the lead lap this time around on lap 47. And I should admit it's been a rough season for Jason Eisenhower this far. I actually look forward to getting a word in with him before the race ends tonight. But hopefully his season picks up starting with tonight's race, so he can be able to get himself locked into this chase. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody has less than 3 laps on their tires. Well, in this case, less than 2 laps on their tires, except for 3 drivers who have 47 laps since their last pit stops. That's the top 3 drivers: Christian DeFalco, Tommy Haynes, and John Sterling. Once this thing goes green, something tells me that's not going to work in their favor. It's not going to work too well. Actually, Dave, I did have some difficulties there, so maybe my program might be malfunctioned, but is that right? Do the top 3 drivers have 47 laps on their tanks?
No, they've got 16 laps.
Oh, copy that, I figured. Thank you very much. So I guess looks like it's going to be only a 14-lap difference on tires. Not bad. Where we are now, back 1 to green, being led by 07 of Christian DeFalco, with the help of 88 of John Sterling on the inside line. Outside line being led by 17 of Tommy Haynes, with the help of 13 of Gary Whitson. Whitson, who was able to somehow get out of that last incident unharmed. Unfortunately, his teammates did get collected. Adam Eisenhower has come a long way tonight, and so has Curtis Vollmer and Dakota Craig. Adam from 27th to 6th, Curtis Vollmer from 22nd to 7th, Dakota Craig from 20th to 8th, and Bobby Tinch from 21st to 9th. First appearance for these drivers in the top 10 this far. Congrats. Pace car dips up and Falco finds the gas, but it gets a great restart against 17 of Haynes, who was caught sleeping. And Haynes goes from 2nd place to 3rd place for the start-finish line. This time around, we are back green flag racing. The Helper Hero 200, round 8 of 10. Extreme Motorsports 99.com Camping World Truck Series Season 10, brought to you by the Advanced Simulation Products.com, specializing in custom button boxes. And we have Brandon Ketchum in the chat. Brandon Ketchum, man, it was a heck of a job on your part here in tonight's race. Yeah, unfortunately, had to end for you that way, man. But don't get discouraged, man. Keep your head high, and hopefully your machine can be back to life before the race is over, because we still have a few more laps. We have 96 laps to go. As well, I was speaking there, the 88 of Sterling did end up kissing the wall. He went from the 2nd place spot to 5th place this time around, and now behind the 48 of Curtis Vollmer. And yeah, Curtis Vollmer here tonight, rocking a new amazing Lowe's, red Lowe's Silverado. Usually it's blue, but tonight it is different. It is a nice change. And despite his heavy damage, he still made his way towards the front. That's the 3 of Garrett Helmlinger. Garrett Helmlinger here currently in the 7th place spot between Bobby Tinch and 17 of Tommy Haynes. Speaking of Bobby Tinch as well, Bobby Tinch has been on the move ever since the drop of the green flag. And so far here is just pretty much buying his time, but still taking when he can. Yeah, Bobby Tinch very determined to get the job done, very determined to get himself locked into the chase. He got around 17 of Tommy Haynes, and that bumps Haynes down to 8th. Bobby Tinch to 7th, and Garrett Helmlinger to 6th. Oh, copy that there, Brandon. Brandon's got 30 minutes of required repairs, unfortunately. But yeah, plus the Spirit, man, keep it up. Next week is a great track indeed. Las Vegas. I look forward to it. Can't wait. Oh, 3 of Helmlinger gets sucked into the wall and spun out off the exit of the turn, and he lost all his speed and momentum. And 2 spots to 74 of Greg Bradshaw and the 66 of Bobby Tinch. And now the 5-0 of Scott Mitten appearing in the scope of Garrett Helmlinger. And look at that, Lucron Automotive's finest, Alex Kingsbury, so far taking names as we speak. He gets a run against Scott Mitten off the exit of turn number 2. Entering turn number 3, goes to his inside, he goes up, he chops his nose off, and he defends that spot. Nice pass by Kingsbury, and that bumps him up to 9th place, and his next victim is now the 3 of Helmlinger. And Helmlinger does kiss the wall, and Kingsbury gets by him, and Kingsbury able to gain 2 spots in 1.5 laps. And Kingsbury as well has come a long way to another. The caution flies this time around. We're going to back it up and see what happened.
Unfortunately, that looks like that's going to involve the 81 of Travis Pryor here as we hit the replay. See if we can see exactly what happened here. He just lost it coming out of the turn on the outside wall, inside wall, and just went up on his roof. So rough night for the 81 of Travis Pryor.
Oh, yep, that machine just got loose on the inside. He tried saving it, overcorrected. Ooh, he actually got clipped at high speed by a passing by driver while he was spinning, and that was the 49 of Timothy Hamlet. So hopefully Hamlet, his machine is still doing good despite that heavy contact impact that is. But that was still very unfortunate for both drivers involved, and Travis Pryor actually blowing his motor on impact. As a result of that, and some bad news, Travis Pryor has parked his machine with the blown motor, and we'll be back again next week. Very rough night for Travis Pryor. And going back up front here, we are being led by 86 of Adam Eisenhower, who leads everybody down pit road as we speak. And some drivers staying out, and so far looks like the driver in line for the Lucky Dog is the 05 of Tommy Emasi in the 25th place spot. So he should be getting the wave around here before too long. So everybody on the lead lap did decide to go down pit road, except for the 177 of Brian Wasserman. Brian Wasserman here is still on the track. Looks like he's actually going to the back. Everybody is getting around him, so he might have received an end of the line penalty. But he should be pitting in here before too long this time around, looks like. Oh, yeah, man. Brian Wasserman's machine has seen better days. The front end is very beat up, and so is the rear end. And yes, he's headed down pit road. And scratch that, looks like Tommy Emasi did not get the wave around. I'm not sure who got the wave round this caution, if anybody even got the wave round. Actually, looks like, yes, the 177 of Wasserman did get the wave round, and that's why it looked like he had stayed out on 14 lap older tires. So at this point, we have only 21 drivers on the lead lap, with 177 of Wasserman being the last driver on the lead lap. But so for the updated top 10, we have Adam Eisenhower, Curtis Vollmer, Christian DeFalco, Tyler Homan, John Sterling, Bobby Tinch, Scott Mitten, Hunter McDaniel, Alex Kingsbury, and Jeffrey Gillum rounding up the top 10. And man, Jeffrey Gillum, he did have a rough start in tonight's race. He was one lap down at one point, got his lap back, and is now in the top 10. That's very, very impressive. He stayed very determined and got the job done. That's very commendable. And 42, David Elliott coming from 24th place to 11th. Last time we checked on David Elliott, he was riding in the back of the pack, just pretty much buying his time and trying not to push any matters. But now he is here, just one spot behind the top 10, or I should say one spot away from the top 10. And the driver holding the keys in the door to the top 10 is the 61 of Gillum. Sometimes the EOL can be a blessing. Tenfold, Brandon. And we have Blaze in the chat. Welcome, Blaze. Hope you're doing well tonight. Hope you're doing well. And we are 1 to green, being led by Adam Eisenhower with the help of Christian DeFalco. Outside line being led by Curtis Vollmer with the help of Tyler Holman. We are going green this time around. A pace car dips off. Adam finds that gas, but it gets a great restart against everybody else, mainly Curtis Vollmer, DeFalco, and Tyler Holman. And as we speak, Holman and the 77 of the DeFalco and Holman going at it side by side. Entering turn number 1, looks like DeFalco has been let go by Tyler Holman, and at the same time he left enough room for 88 of Sterling to go against him, and now he crosses him over, and they are side by side on the backstretch. Holman and Sterling, they must make contact, but Holman able to get back around 88 of Sterling, who would try to do the crossover move, but didn't have enough momentum to make it stick off the exit of 4, and just rides for now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with 63 laps in and 83 laps to go, we're going to take our first commercial break of the evening. We'll be right back, so please stay tuned.
Don't let your first date be your last. Visit People Against Distracted Driving at PADD.org.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Help a Hero 200. That's the Help a Hero 200, round 8 of 10, Extreme Motorsports 99.com Camping World Track Series, season number 10, brought to you by the Advanced Simulation Products.com, specializing in custom button boxes. And ladies and gentlemen, Extreme Motorsports has a lot to offer. They have road racing and oval racing, so you guys can join any of the series based on your preferences and experience. So check them out at their website, extrememotorsports99.com. Drop the first E in extreme and start with the X, extrememotorsports99.com. You're watching this live on the Online Sim Racing Network. Well, going back to the race, we do have a new race leader. That is the 07 of Christian DeFalco, Curtis Vollmer 2nd, John Sterling 3rd, Hunter McDaniel 4th, Tyler Holman 5th, Adam Eisenhower 6th, Bobby Tinch 7th, Scott Mitten 8th, Jeffrey Gillam 9th, and the 40 of Joshua Gillen in the 10th place spot. And 86 of Adam Eisenhower, who was the race leader before we went to commercial break, but he had some bad luck where he scraped the wall and lost all his speed and momentum, including all the spots he had, and now is currently in the 6th place spot. And a new viewer in the chat, a returning viewer, that is Tama S. Welcome back, Tama. It's good to see you again. It's been a while. And she says, throwback paint scheme by Adam Eisenhower. That's Sim Speed Shop Chevy Silverado. That is well dressed. That's USA button boxes and sim products, simulation products. And for the back in the pack, we have the 4-0 of Joshua Gillen, who's been creeping up towards the front with every single lap this far. He did start in the 23rd place spot, and now his next victim is the 61 of Jeffrey Gillen. But man, Joshua Gillen's machine is getting nothing but squirrely on the exit of turn number 2 is what I noticed there. But looks like it's under control so far as he gets a good run against Jeffrey Gillen. It's a great run against him side by side on the front stretch, entering turn 1. And Joshua gets around the 61 of Gillam at the same time he's pulling the 13 of Whitson right behind. .42 of David Elliott is in this mix behind Mr. Highside himself, Ralph Vanderforst. Ralph Vanderforst here now approaching 61 of Jeffrey Gillam. And ladies and gentlemen, we are past the halfway mark. We are 78 laps in and 67 laps remaining. I actually missed the halfway mark long back. And we are showing 20 drivers on the lead lap. Brian Wasserman got his lap back during the last caution, but his machine was very, very beat up, very, very damaged. So I'm sure he spent a lot of time on pit road and went an additional lap down as a result of that. But as we speak, Brian Wasserman is still rolling here on the racing surface. First driver, 1 lap down, just got around 94 of Scott Brooks. Speaking of Scott Brooks, I haven't spoken much of Scott Brooks tonight, if any, but he is here in the 27th place spot. Actually had a rough night as well, currently 3 laps down. And we just lost one more driver, 64 of Cody McFadden. We look forward to seeing him back again next week for Las Vegas. And ladies and gentlemen, this track is a one groove racetrack. Passing is extra difficult, which promotes a lot of single file racing, single file driving. But next week is a totally different beast. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, a multi-groove racetrack. You can go 4 wide, you can go 5 wide if you like, and no problems. So a lot of drivers really looking forward to seeing that race, because there'll be that track does promote a lot of side by side action, but the caution flies. You can see what happened.
Yep, that's going to involve the 77 there. Tyler Hallman, as we go back on the replay. We see exactly what happened. The 177 in front of him going slower as the 77 goes around him. Right, and slides right up into the 177, sending Tyler Hallman into the inside wall.
Oh man, that's very unfortunate for Tyler Hallman getting the worst end of that deal. And 177 of Wasserman getting some additional damage on that already damaged machine. And Hallman there did make some contact with the wall, and as a result, some heavy smoke is coming out from the motor, unfortunately. And as we speak, Hallman rolling down pit road to get some of that damage fixed. Hopefully the smoke is eliminated before too long. And the leader, DeFalco, leading everybody down pit road, and everybody on the lead lap does follow. And the driver in line for the Lucky Dog, since Wasserman was involved in the caution in the incident, that's going to pass it on to the 17 of Tommy Haynes. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have not yet already, if you are new to the online sim racing network, do not hesitate to hit the subscribe button. You have coverage coming to you live every single day of the week, pretty much, with either myself and David Everly or Tanner Sharp, or Joe White himself. This is the online sim racing network, and thanks for watching. And the race off pit road was won by Christian DeFalco. And when we have 88 of John Sterling 2nd, Hunter McDaniel 3rd, Curtis Vollmer 4th, Scott Mitten 5th, Gary Whitson 6th, Bobby Tinch 7th, Joshua Gillen 8th. And looks like we have Ralph Vanderforst 9th and David Elliott in the 10th place spot. Some good news, ladies and gentlemen. We have the 12 of Ketchum, who had blown motor, whose motor was smoking early on during an incident. So he has less than 10 minutes left. So he should be back on the track before too long. And I guess I was wrong about 17 of Tommy Haynes getting the lucky dog, because he's right behind the pace car waiting to get the wave around. Once we go back 1 to green, that means he's not going to have a chance to pit in, unfortunately, which is going to give him 24 laps more on his tires compared to everybody else, and it goes around the pace cars. We spoke right there. We are now back 1 to green, being led by DeFalco with the help of Hunter McDaniel. Outside line being led by John Sterling with the help of 48 of Curtis Vollmer. I'm not sure exactly what the fuel window or the pit window might be at this track with this fuel limit, but I do have a feeling we still might need at least one more pit stop, maybe for a splash and go, hopefully. Pace car dips off and look on an automotive driver. DeFalco still holding pace speed. He finds the gas, but it gets a greater restart against 88 of John Sterling. And a battle for the third place spot between the 48 of Vollmer and the 57 Hunter McDaniel. And McDaniel ends up falling short, entering turn 1. Well, scratch that he gets around Curtis Vollmer successfully before the exit of 2. And Curtis Vollmer as well, trying to play catch-up, trying to recover from that restart. He gets overtaken by 2 drivers, 5-0 Scott Mitton and 13 of Whitson Jr. The drivers at this point, ladies and gentlemen, have the newest tires they can get during this run. So at this point, they'll try and take advantage of the extra grip and maybe try and get some good runs against each other off these turns, or maybe implement the bump and run. But we're gonna see what happens. 58 laps to go. 58 laps to go. We still have a long way to go. Oh, copy that. Just got some intel from Brandon Ketchum. They are getting 40 to 45 laps per tank. So which means, yes, we do need one more pit stop. Thank you very much, Brandon. And up behind for the back in the pack, we have Octavio Rondoletto, we have David Elliott, Jeffrey Gillum, actually Ralph Vanderforst now here, Ralph Vanderforst, and now 24 of Octavio Rondoletto so far seem to be working together, trying to get towards the front. Can't find my words. Next victim is the 4-0 of Joshua Gillen for the 8th place spot. And yes, they do finally catch the 4-0 of Joshua Gillen for the 8th place position. And right behind them, we have the 3, Garrett Helmlinger, 74, Greg Bradshaw, 62, 42 of David Elliott and Jeffrey Gillum so far in a single foul line, very close to each other. And the 177 of Brian Wasserman so far trying to make some moves. Unfortunately, is now being shown 5 laps down behind 36 of Jason Eisenhower. Jason Eisenhower was able to get his lap back there, a couple of cautions back. And as he just smacked the wall, as we spoke right there with his right rear, but no harm done, still rolling off the exit of 4. Alex Kingsbury here in this mix behind the 177 of Wasserman so far. Kingsbury being the first driver 1 lap down in the Lucky Dog spot. Really hoping for a caution so he can be able to get the Lucky Dog. Here entering turn 3, gets around the 177 of Wasserman, no harm done. And now his next victim is 36 of Eisenhower. And going back up front, 07 of Christian DeFalco now has a 1.4 second lead against Hunter McDaniel. And Christian DeFalco here already a chase driver, same with second place driver Hunter McDaniel. And going back to DeFalco, DeFalco did have one of the fastest machines, if not the fastest machine, at the race we had at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And ever since then, he's been on a roll and doing the exact same thing tonight. DeFalco's lead keeps getting nothing but bigger. He just gained about 1/10 of a second against Hunter McDaniel. Actually, just we went up to 2/10 now this lap, from 1.4 to 1.6. Yep, that's the benefit of the clean air and the having no pressure from the rear. So he can focus on his race line, hitting those marks with every single lap, every single turn. But going back to a cluster that's being formed, 88 of John Sterling, Gary Whitson, and Hunter McDaniel, second place to fourth place. And the two battling drivers, while they were working together, they still seem to be. That's 68 of Ralph Vanderforst and 24 of Rondoletto still going at it. So far, single foul, and now 1/10 away from... Oh, actually, that just went up. They are now about... That's going to update it before too long. 0.8 of a second behind 48 of Vollmer for position number 6. Yep, since these two drivers seem to be working together for a common good, single foul and using a little bit of draft here every now and then on these straight stretches, they are gaining a lot of time with every single lap against the drivers ahead. Oh, Rondoletto gets sucked into the wall off the exit of 4, and the gap in between him and Ralph does go up a bit. And for the back in the pack, a driver back from the dead as promised. That's the 12 of Brandon Ketchum. Brandon Ketchum here is going to be able to gain. So it looks like he's being shown 52 laps down in 30th place. But Cody McFadden and Travis Pryor have retired early for the evening tonight, unfortunately. So with that said, those two spots are up for grabs. So which means Ketchum is at least going to finish in the 28th place spot. And Tyler Hallman is on pit road, 17 laps down and dropping. So if he doesn't come off pit road here before too long, Brandon might be able to get that spot as well and be finishing the 27th place spot. Yeah, it's been a very rough night for most drivers out there, ladies and gentlemen. No quick fixes here in the track series as of race number 2 or 3. And ever since then... racing has changed quite a bit because they don't have any more backup tracks, no quick fixes. So which means whatever you bring is what you're going to end up using, or you're going to be stuck with all race long, unfortunately. And for the back in the pack, I haven't spoken much of the 15 of Gary Woobot, but Gary Woobot here currently in the 23rd place spot. 2 laps down, but his next victim for position, who is also 2 laps down, is the 49 of Timothy Hamlet. And actually, speaking of Gary Woobot here, despite him keeping it's not really despite, but even though he kept a low profile all season long, it has seemed like this far in the season, he is still top 10 in points. He was 4th place in points starting this race. Only a few points behind the two tied drivers for 3rd, Greg Bradshaw and Gary Whitson. Actually, speaking of those tied drivers, let's actually look at where they stand. So we had Hunter McDaniel and Scott Mitten tied for 2nd place. So far we have Hunter McDaniel up front in 2nd place, and Scott Mitten in the 4th place spot. So only 1 truck separates the 2 drivers. So those two, McDaniel and Mitten, will be trying to break that tie before the race ends. Same with Greg Bradshaw and Gary Whitson as well, who were tied for 3rd place starting this race. So Gary Whitson is 3rd place here so far in tonight's race. And Greg Bradshaw, I try and scan for Greg. Greg Bradshaw is currently in the 12th place spot. So as spaced out as the 2 drivers might be, Bradshaw and Gary B. Whitson, they will find each other before too long. Ladies and gentlemen, the lead of the leader, 07 of the Falco, is getting nothing but bigger. It has grown. It has gone to 3.5 seconds. I repeat, 3.5 seconds. That's actually bad news for the back of the pack. Speaking of the back of the pack, he has his eyes on the back of the pack. And the first driver in the back of the pack is the 177 of Brian Wasserman, who's already 5 laps down. So at this point, Brian trying to find 5th gear to get around Brandon Ketchum, Tommy Amasi, and Tim Hamlet to avoid going a lap down, or another lap down in this case. And Ketchum goes off the track to let all the faster traffic by, and I should admit, for the damage that Ketchum had sustained, the 30-minute repairs, his machine is still keeping up quite well. Oh, the caution flies this time around on lap 108. We're going to back it up, see what happened.
That involved the 86 of Adam Eisenhower as he was inside the 72 of Alex Kingsbury. Alex Kingsbury got into the wall, and the 86 of Adam Eisenhower slid right up into his door, and that sent the 86 of Adam Eisenhower into the inside wall and stopped onto the track, bringing out our 6th caution.
Oh man, as a result of the impact contact, Adam Eisenhower ended up blowing his motor. So he'll be spending some time on pit road. At this point, we have 36 laps left in the race. I doubt he'll be able to get back out there with the machine running. Unfortunately, it looks like it's not enough time to get that done. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with 36 laps left, that means if the drivers come down pit road this caution, they will be able to make it the rest of the way. And the leader up front, DeFalco, leading everybody down pit road as we speak. Yep, and seems like the majority of the field is following. Yep, that was everybody on the lead lap down pit road. And the lucky dog has been issued, the 5 of Randy Perdue. Randy Perdue gets 1 lap back and is now back on the lead lap this time around. Yep, in the 18th place position. Yeah, Randy Perdue had some bad luck there early on, got involved in 2 incidents with... all related to smacking those walls, unfortunately, but it is now back. Yeah, it's amazing to watch these drivers not give up when everything goes south. Using Randy Perdue as an example. Same with 12. Oh, Brandon Ketchum. And going back up front, looks like the race off pit road was won by Hunter McDaniel, able to take the race lead away from DeFalco, who comes out 2nd place, Gary Whitson 3rd, Scott Mitten 4th, John Sterling 5th, Ralph Van der Forst 6th, Octavio Rondoletto 7th, Curtis Vomer 8th, David Elliott 9th, and Greg Bradshaw in the 10th place spot. And when I scan the field here, so far the heaviest movers we have Scott Mitten from 19th to 4th, Sterling from 10th to 5th, Octavio Rondoletto, that's Octavio Rondoletto from 29th to 7th, Curtis Vomer 22nd to 8th, David Elliott 24th to 9th, Bobby Tinch from 21st to 11th. We also have the 36 of Eisenhower, actually from 18th to 14th after going a lap down at one point. Joshua Gillen 23rd to 15th. We also have Randy Purdy from 28th to 17th. Alex Kingsbury from 30th place to 18th. And we are now back one to green. Yes, we are being led by Hunter McDaniel, who has lane choice. The leaders do have lane choice, so he starts on the outside line with the help of 50 of Mitten. Inside line now being led by previous leader DeFalco with the help of 13 of Gary Whitson. And once we go green, we have a 32-lap shootout coming up. That's 32 laps to go. Ladies and gentlemen, with the drivers not needing to pit in anymore, this could mean it is go time. Pace car dips off and Hunter found the gas pit immediately and gets a commanding lead against DeFalco, Gary Whitson, and the rest of the field. DeFalco, Whitson fall back in line, single file. He is second and third place respectively. Scott Mitten fourth place, John Sterling fifth, Rob Vandervoort sixth, Vomer seventh, Octavio eighth. And Octavio trying to get around the 48 of Vomer, but so far having no luck. They are getting up to speed still. Ladies and gentlemen, with 32 laps to go and 114 laps complete to take a final commercial break of the evening, we'll be right back, so please stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Help a Hero 200. That's the Help a Hero 200, round 8 of 10. Extreme Motorsports 99.com Camping World Truck Series Season number 10. Brought to you by the Advanced Simulation Products.com, specializing in custom button boxes. I repeat, specializing in custom button boxes. And ladies and gentlemen, check out also the Extreme Motorsports website at their website, extrememotorsports99.com. They have a lot to offer, so you guys are always kept entertained with all the different series. They have road series and oval series. So Monday nights on the oval side, Monday nights Pro Can-Am series, Tuesday nights truck series, and Wednesday nights Xfinity series. And also they had a Cup series, but it's not going on this season just yet. But it might kick back up again next season. So check them out, extrememotorsports99.com. Well, going back to the race, we are now back 1 to green. We were under caution, and we are being led by Hunter McDaniel with the help of Gary Whitson on the inside. Outside, being led by Christian DeFalco with the help of 5-0 Scott Mitten. We are going green, and this time we're going to have a 24-lap shootout. And for those interested, the caution was caused by a self-spin. A driver got into the wall, unfortunately. So every caution this far has been caused by the wall. So the wall is something to watch out for tonight. Well, it has been, at least. The pace car dips off. McDaniel finds the gas pedal. He catches the 0-7 of Falco sleeping, and DeFalco now trying to hold off the 1-3-13 of Gary Whitson on his inside. Still side by side, they stay through turns number 1 and 2. Off turn 2, DeFalco slingshot engaged, but a drag race still goes on between the two drivers. Yep, Whitson, instead of him getting that bad entry to turn 3, he backed off and got the sweet entry and fell back in line behind DeFalco for 3rd place. And the 5th place battle between Ralph Vanderforst and John Sterling, side by side. They almost made contact. Oh man, no harm done, still going at it, but they slowed down enough for 24 Rondeletto to look to the inside of Ralph Vanderforst as we speak. Oh man, Ralph Vanderforst lost 2 spots in just 1 lap to John Sterling and Ralph and the 24 Rondeletto. And as we speak, Rondeletto and Sterling were going at it side by side, but then back down single file in the 5th and 6th place spots, respectively. And for the back in the pack, we have Bobby Tinch. Not really for the back in the pack, but in the 11th place spot, Bobby Tinch behind the 42 of David Elliott, who all race long kept a low profile, but now found 5th gear with less than 30 laps to go. Off turn 2, he smacks the way a little bit. Not too much harm done, fortunately enough, and he falls back in line behind Bobby Tinch. So by the end of tonight's race, we're going to have a lot of different color combinations on the exits of every single turn. And by that I mean the paints from these machines. And 15 of Woobot here so far still rolling, seems to be under speed. The machine's damage has gotten nothing but worse. Yeah, that Valvoline Toyota Tundra has seen better days. The front end is very, very beat up, but it is still trucking. And for those new viewers out there who just might have tuned in, first of all, welcome to the Online Sim Racing Network here tonight. And just a reminder here, we've had 7 races this season with 7 different winners, and which means every single winner got themselves locked into the chase. So I'm going to go over the list here. So we have Hunter McDaniel, Jay Pryor, Bryce Whitson Jr., Joshua Gillen, Randy Perdue, Christian DeFalco, and Ken Huber. I repeat, Ken Huber, Christian DeFalco, Randy Perdue, Bryce Whitson Jr., Jay Pryor, and Hunter McDaniel. So I want to commend and congratulate all these drivers on a job well done. It was not an easy job for them to get themselves locked into the chase via win, but they were able to do it. So thus far, we only have 5 more spots left in the chase. So let's see who are the 5 drivers to take those spots. And going back up front, 49 of Hamlet. Going around 17 of Tommy Haynes and 72 of DeFalco, 72 of Kingsbury as well on the outside of Tommy Haynes. So far, we have only 18 drivers on the lead lap. That's 18 drivers on the lead lap, with Jim Kelly being the last driver on the lead lap, and Tommy Haynes first driver 1 lap down. Going back up front, we are being led by Hunter McDaniel still, as Christian DeFalco tries his best to figure out a way to get around McDaniel for that race lead. And from what we had noticed there early on, ladies and gentlemen, during that long green flag run, we just had DeFalco was able to pull away about 3.5 seconds ahead of Hunter McDaniel and the rest of the field. So which means at this point, Hunter McDaniel is trying his best to keep DeFalco behind, because he knows exactly what DeFalco is capable of at this track. And the leaders up front putting everybody laps down. They just got around 77 of Holman. For the back in the pack in 5th place, actually, we have a battle between John Sterling and Scott Mitten. Actually, looks like Mitten lost that spot to John Sterling, and that bumps Sterling up to 4th place and Mitten down to 5th. And John Sterling, a new addition this season, season number 10 to the Extreme Motorsports Track Series. He has been an alien. He's been a heck of a threat to all these drivers this far, and tonight he brought his A++ game as usual. He did start in the 10th place spot, currently 4th and climbing. And ladies and gentlemen, we now have 12 laps to go. That's 12 laps to go. Early on when the race began, I talked about how we were going to be seeing a lot more give than take. But, well, that's about to go out the window in about 2 laps. Battle for the race lead up front between DeFalco and Hunter McDaniel. Oh, actually, lead change. Gary Woodson took over the race lead away from McDaniel, and now McDaniel under fire from the 07 of DeFalco side by side. They make contact. Oh, DeFalco goes on the inside. He got spun out a little bit. I mean, he makes contact with him, but no harm done. Surprisingly, they both save it. They were both sideways there at one point. We are still green flag racing. Oh man, Hunter trying to gather the machine after the contact there that made him sideways, and now McDaniel bumped down to 5th place. Well, the lead of Whitson Jr. gets nothing but bigger. Oh, that's Gary B. Whitson up front. His lead gets bigger because of the of what happened. We now have 9 laps to go, 9 laps to go. That means it is go time. All the gloves are off. 0% give and 100% take. And going back to our questions, ladies and gentlemen, or our question there early on, are we going to have a new winner tonight to have 8 different winners for 8 different races? Gonna find out. Oh man, Whitson got slowed down by some lapped traffic, and DeFalco is now all over his review. DeFalco realizes he's running out of time at this point. He now has only 7 laps to get the job done to make that pass against Whitson, and he knows Whitson is not going to let him by without a fight. And going for the back in the pack, we have 66 of Bobby Tinch and David Elliott. So far, single foul, 9th and 10th respectively. And the 42 of Elliott to the inside of Bobby Tinch, side by side on the front stretch. Before turn number 1. Oh man, almost had some contact between 24 and Bobby Tinch, but no harm done. But Bobby, run a little good sideways off the exit of turn 2. He saves it. Yes, he saves it. We are still green flag racing. So much going on, cannot find my words. I do apologize. And Bobby Tinch here currently in 10th place spot. David Elliott 9th and Rondoletto in 11th. 5 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. 5 laps to go. That means next flag ends the race. But going back up front here, we still have Whitson Jr., Gary B. Whitson and Christian DeFalco still nose to tail, but this is attracting a lot of attention, a lot more drivers. John Sterling coming up. Oh, their caution flies. The race is going to end under caution. I'm going to back it up and see what happened.
That's going to involve the 61 machine of Jeffrey Gillum here as we take a look. He's running on the outside of Tommy O'Massey. Got into the outside wall, came down, made contact with Tommy O'Massey, and around he went, bringing it out to caution, ending the race under yellow.
Oh man, that's very unfortunate. Unfortunate end of the evening, or to the evening, and also very unfortunate for both drivers involved in that. And we can confirm every single wreck tonight has been caused by the wall. So that wall, once again, is never ever your friend. Going back up front, we are being led by Gary Whitson, Christian DeFalco 2nd, John Sterling 3rd, Hunter McDaniel 4th, Scott Mitten 5th, Ralph Vanderforst 6th, Curtis Vollmer 7th, Greg Bradshaw 8th, David Elliott 9th, and Bobby Tinch rounding up the top 10. And the driver in line for the Lucky Dog is 36 of Jason Eisenhower. Yep, and around the pace car Jason goes, and he's back on the lead lap. A heck of a way to end the race on his part, despite the bad luck he had there early on. And that's going to leave us with 17 drivers finishing the race on the lead lap tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a tough track tonight, but these drivers tackled it very, very well. And, this track did promote a lot of single file racing, a lot of single file driving, but next week is a totally different beast, a whole new beast, an amazing beast in this case for a lot of the drivers I know in this series. That's Las Vegas Motor Speedway, a multi-groove racetrack, 4 wide, 5 wide. So it's going to be very interesting as the drivers will have only 2 more chances to get themselves locked into the chase. And scanning the field so far, the heaviest movers we have. So Scott Mitten going up to John Sterling. John Sterling from 10th place to 3rd. Scott Mitten from 19th place to 5th. Curtis Vollmer from 22nd to 7th. David Elliott 24th to 9th. Bobby Tinch 21st to 10th. Octavio Rondoletto from 29th to 11th. Joshua Gillen 23rd to 12th. Randy Purdy 28th to 13th, and Alex Kingsbury from 30th place to 15th. And going to Randy Purdy, who had some of the worst luck tonight, still able to finish on the lead lap. That's very, very commendable. Well, ladies and gentlemen, 13 of Whitson's gonna bring this thing home unchallenged at pace speed 60 miles per hour. DeFalco comes out second. That's Christian DeFalco second. John Sterling third. Hunter McDaniel fourth. And Scott Mitten in the 5th place spot. Well, ladies and gentlemen, top 3 interviews coming up and a special guest. Gary Whitson, Christian DeFalco, John Sterling, and a special guest. So please stay tuned. Well, ladies and gentlemen, top 3 drivers up here tonight. Gary Whitson, we have Christian DeFalco, John Sterling, and our special guest 42 of David Elliott. A heck of a smoke show by tonight's race winner 13 of Whitson with the Whitson Motorsports team. Get up there, Gary.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Yeah, that was a tough race. Got a tough break over there in the race and was lucky enough to fight back and catch some good breaks when those guys got in the wall.
Oh, absolutely, man. And what was your strategy coming to tonight's race, man? Because this track has been known to claim a lot of victims.
Don't wreck is basically the main strategy, and try to capitalize on the mistakes of others. And it kind of turns out that that's what got us to win tonight. So just want to shout out to the whole Whitson Motorsports team. Shout out to Bryce for conquering leukemia. Have everybody check out our BeTheMatch.org/Laps for Leukemia fundraiser we're doing to help raise some money for Be The Match, and just a good night overall.
Absolutely, man. And Gary, good news. You were able to get your first win this season right here at Darlington, and that locks you into the chase. How are you feeling, man?
Feeling pretty good. Sweating my butt off, but ready for something cold to drink and celebrate with the boys.
Oh, copy that, brother. Oh, probably go celebrate in final words.
Now, like I said, just check out join.bethematch.org/Laps for Leukemia. Donate. We're trying to raise $15,000 for Be The Match to help fight off leukemia.
Well, congrats on the success tonight, and also thank you very much for the great cause. Look forward to seeing you next week for round number 9 at Vegas. Have a good night and go celebrate.
Thanks, guys.
That was Gary B. Whitson, but next in line is a 07 of Christian DeFalco. Get up there, Christian.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing good.
Well, man, DeFalco, as usual, you brought your A++ game like you did last time at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And at one point when you had the race lead and during the long green flag run, you were able to increase your lead with every single lap to about 3.5 seconds against second place driver at that point was Hunter McDaniel. What was your game plan in tonight's race?
My game plan was just to stay out of the wall and run real close to it so I can save as much tires as possible. That way I can extend the lead out for those long runs and then hopefully get the win. But pushed a little bit too hard towards the end of the race and gave it to Gary.
Oh, most definitely. When it came down to that long run you just had of you increasing your lead, what were you able to figure out? What others might not have figured out?
I think it was really important to let the car coast into the corners and make sure it's nice and balanced before you start braking hard.
Oh, copy that, man. Well, congrats on your success here tonight again, and also most importantly, congrats on have being lost yourself into the chase there early on into the season at Charlotte Motor Speedway. That has been very, very commendable. Doing the Lucron Automotive team very, very proud. Well, any final words before you go? Any final words?
Yep, just like to thank Lucron Automotive, all the people there on the team, Mountain Dew, C-Note Designs, and I think that's it. Thank you.
Well, congrats on your success again there, Christian, and see you again next week at Vegas. Have a good night.
Later.
That was Christian DeFalco, Lucron Automotive driver, but next in line is another Alien 88 of John Sterling. Can I come up there, John?
Yes.
How you doing tonight?
Oh, doing much better compared to the last couple weeks.
Oh man, very glad to hear about that. And we always talk about this with every single week when we see you racing. You are a new addition this season, and you make your presence known with every single race. How's your experience tonight?
I mean, last couple of weeks we had top 5 runs, and we just ran into bad luck. But this week, I mean, we felt okay going in. Felt like getting a top 10, but towards the end of the race, we started figuring out turns 3 and 4. That was our Achilles heel. And once we figured that out, I mean, we were running top 5, even getting up close to the lead. Number 88, Chevy Silverado Exalta, was doing quite awesome tonight.
Oh, absolutely, man. You made that machine look very amazing up front, like you did all race long, just taking names and making your presence known with every single lap. And this far in the season, man, we are 8 races in. Well, now 2 races left before the chase. How are you feeling this far?
I'm feeling good. Like my worst tracks are pretty much behind us on the schedule, so the next few tracks I feel pretty good. That I mean, I usually run well there and anywhere else. So yeah, I'm feeling like I can possibly make it in the chase. I mean, I got to make it there either by a win or just finishing pretty well.
Oh, absolutely, man. Well, you have 2 more races left to get that done, and with the way you've been racing all season long, that should not be a problem. Hopefully, you go celebrate, John. Any final words?
Yes, like Bryce said, we are doing a charity event starting this weekend with the 24 Hours of Nürburgring. The other link is pledgeit.org/LapsForLeukemia 2018. People can go there and pledge a certain amount. They can do 10 cents, 15 cents, 25 cents, so on and so forth. And every lap that we complete, people pledge that many cents per lap, and it's all towards finding a cure for leukemia.
Oh, copy that. And ladies and gentlemen, you heard it right there. The link is pledgeit.org/Laps for Leukemia 2018. So please check it out and donate what you can. So thank you very much there, John, for the amazing thing you guys are doing. I look forward to seeing you again next week.
All right. Thank you, guys.
That was John Sterling, 3rd place finisher. But next in line is a special guest, the last interview 42 of David Elias. Got to come up there, David?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, how are you?
All right, man, pretty good.
Well, David, man, all season long, we've noticed you've had pretty much the same strategy. You keep a low profile all race long until the very end, and tonight you came from 24th place, finishing in the top 10. Very, very impressive. How's the machine handling tonight?
It was tough. It was a little tight, and then it kind of get loose off, and not one of my best tracks, but to bring home my top 10 was definitely felt like a win.
And I should ask you this question, David, man. Despite the difficulties you went through tonight, like you pointed out, how were you able to be successful? Basically, were you able? Do you think you were able to learn the track as you went, or maybe the practice that you did before the race paid off a lot?
Yeah, I got a little bit better throughout the race. It kind of helped some of a lot of the faster guys kind of got knocked out, but we got a little bit quicker throughout the race, and learned a little bit. Hopefully, get some more practice in here soon, but overall, pretty good night.
Oh, copy that, man. Very, very great. Glad to hear that. And congrats on your success tonight, despite a few incidents there that occurred on the track. But, man, next week we are traveling to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Any thoughts about that track?
Yeah, one of my favorite tracks. I'm a little quicker there, so hopefully we can get a top 5, maybe pull out a win or something.
Oh, copy that, brother. Well, congrats once again there, David. And before we let you go in final words, before we let you go.
Yeah, just thanks for Extreme Motorsports for all they do. It's an awesome league. Thanks for you guys broadcasting. Y'all do a great job. Just thanks to what y'all do.
Well, congrats once again there, David, and see you again 8 spots higher next week at Vegas. Have a good night. Go celebrate.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
That was David Elliott finishing 9th place tonight. That rounds up interviews. Gary Whitson, Christian DeFalco, John Sterling, and David Elliott. Well, thanks very much for tuning in tonight, ladies and gentlemen, on the Online Sim Racing Network. The Help a Hero 200, round 8 of 10, ExtremeMotorsports99.com Camping World Truck Series, brought to you by the AdvancedSimulationProducts.com, specializing in custom button boxes. And that's right, ladies and gentlemen, we've had 8 races, and now 8 different winners, so which means only 4 more spots left in the chase. So we're gonna find out what 4 drivers will be filling up those spots. And also they always do this with the Extreme Motorsports. They always pick a driver who's not in the chase, who's not in the top 12 as a 13th driver, basically the one of the cleanest record. And last season that was Gary Woolboy. So we're gonna see exactly who that will be this season. Well, Dave, any thoughts?
It was a great race. Can't wait to see how the rest of the season is going to play out.
Absolutely. Well, next race, ladies and gentlemen, is next week. The Samson Motorsports 145. That's the Samson Motorsports 145 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. That's round 9. And that's going to be the race before the chase. And only 2 more chances left for them to get themselves locked into the chase. I am Sean Zulu and David Everly behind the cameras. And next broadcast is tomorrow night with David Everly and Tana Sharp with the Extreme Motorsports Xfinity Series. We look forward to seeing you guys there. Have a good night.